After so much Monday night drama, Mac is back. Can the same be said, though, of the Patriots' offensive attack? Is it true that the secret behind the Patriots' success is actually just secrets? And what in the holy hell is going on in Tompa Bay? We will address all of this, plus the prop shop, idiotic three-team teasers of the week, parlays galore, and so much more with Fitzy and Dakota on the only show that always wants to remind you.
You can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
It's time to fuck around and find out on Dick Pics. Hello again, you football fanimals, the Foxborough faithful, Pats pals, humps and halfwits. Your old pal, Nick Fitzy Stevens here alongside Steve Dakota Happis for the latest and always greatest edition of Dick Pics here across the @FitzyGFY socials. And once again, we are brought to you by our friends at Underdog Fantasy. If you enjoy DFS-style wagering, if you enjoy the propositionals, if you will, you definitely want to download and use Underdog Fantasy. If you want to join right now, they have a phenomenal offer. Match back up to $100 on your initial deposit with promo code Fitzy. I'd be curious if anyone who joins us regularly here on Dick Pics, just a couple of dicks from the South Shore giving you the best bets and picks every week, has used Underdog Fantasy. Dakota, has your experience with Underdog been a pleasant one?
It's been great. And you know why? Because we give out winners, right?
But winners.
So first, I think some of the audience needs to know, why the F are we so late?
I know. Luckily this
Fitzy,
week I got the chat box going again, which is great, so I can communicate.
I know, but what happened to you, Fitz? I get a frantic text like that you're almost dying on the way to the hospital. What the F happened?
All right. So we were getting the stream up and ready. Everything was done. The videos were loaded. The chyrons, the lower thirds, graphics, everything. We were ready to rock. This was the most prepared these two nitwits have ever been before. And then I'm literally just putting on a pair of shoes that I had left outside the back door. And a gust of breeze came through, closed the door that I was holding on to. I just got like the little kid special. I got my fingers caught in a slamming door. Dude, the one in the middle right now is absolutely busted. There's no doubt in my mind that I'll be taking high-level anti-inflammatories as if like all the double IPAs that I crush on a regular basis aren't enough to take care of it. Oh my God. I went white as a ghost. Started like I was whiter than Hingham or Duxbury for a second. I was sweating. I was in so much pain and just like,
you need some gummies. You need to mix in some gummies.
Someone just got a push alert. Anyway, my apologies.
That's okay. And for the people that know, so remember the rumor that Tom Brady bought a house in Connecticut? Well, it wasn't actually Tom Brady. It was Fitzy. Fitzy bought the house in Connecticut, and this was a big door that was off of his side man cave. So This is what happened.
Actually, you know what? And of course, we always like, if you're watching on the YouTubes, the Facebook, Twitter, wherever.
Twitches.
The Twitches. We always like to shout out people in the chat box and the commentaries. Steve Tower, host of After Further Reviews, a regular here. Can't people just leave Tom alone? Sure. We'd be more than happy to leave Tom alone if Tom left us alone. And if Tom wasn't a starting quarterback in the NFL who happens to have significant celebrity high-profile drama going on and wasn't screwing people's fantasy teams, money line parlays,
suicide pools.
Yeah. It's awful. He's having such a terrible season. And last Sunday,
who predicted that, by the way? I don't listen. I know I get beat up for a lot of bad takes, and you always say you have the worst takes. You have the best worst takes ever. Mm-hmm. Well, I said Tom Brady was going to suck this year, and he has sucked. That was before the season started. So it might have been a worse take back then, Fitzy, but I was 100% on the money, just like my Chicago Bears victory play of the day against the New England Patriots.
I would
last week.
I would like to let everyone know who's currently joining us right now, whether it's for just because you got nothing better to do for the Patriots talk,
Lunch
our
break.
best bets and more. Yeah, it's a nice little lunch break hang.
Yep.
We're kind of on a heater, as
Oh
the
my
kids like to
God.
say right now.
Yeah, I can't wait for my bookie to show up today and get it paid.
I crushed my props last week. My idiotic
3-0. I think you
my
were
idiotic
3
3-team teaser of the week
Yeah.
all came through.
Yep.
And Dakota's lock of the week. Oh, the pain. Hurting worse than my broken middle finger right now.
Can I tell you something about watching that game?
You took Chicago +8.
Yeah.
Did it bring you no joy?
So let me tell you, here's what's odd about betting against the Patriots and betting against Zappy, who I love. So as soon as word came down that Mac Jones was starting, that's when I started calling all the crooked nose guys that I know in the area going, hey, how much can you let me get down on this? How much can you let me get down on that? And luckily, I had a few that had so much New England action, they were happy to take my Bears action to offset it. And here's the odd thing. When Mac Jones gets pulled and Zappy goes into the game, I was rooting for the Patriots. Even though my money was on the Bears, I was rooting for the Patriots. And my beautiful girlfriend / fiance, because I have no date, so I still consider her my girlfriend since there is no official date.
She's your fiance, Knowles, yes.
She's like, didn't you bet the Bears? Why are you rooting for the Patriots? Because I love Zappy. I love this story. I want Zappy. And when he went up, put 14 points on the board right away, I didn't care. I was okay with losing my money. I thought New England was going to rout from there on.
It felt like, and let me tell you, from having been in the stadium, dude,
Yeah.
I have never experienced something like that in my life. I felt like I was a part of history, like I was there for like one of those moments, you know, where like something happens and you're like, oh shit, people are going to be talking about this for years to come. It felt surreal. I was in like the Matrix, or I was in the, I was in the other side, the underground, the upside down, like a totally other world, because Gillette Stadium was flatter than Kyrie's earth to start the game when Mac came in. No love. You could already tell people wanted to see Zappy. They thought Zappy gave him a better chance to win. They knew Mac was kind of compromised.
He did.
There had been the lead up where Belichick didn't name a starter until 3 friggin' hours before the game.
Because he wanted to start Zappy.
The whole place, he should, and as we came to know, he should have and just left him in the whole time, or he should have started Mac and left him in. And then Belichick brings him in, and the worst case scenario, I outlined it last week on the radio and the podcast, is like the worst effing thing that could possibly happen would be if Mac comes in front of the hometown crowd and goes 3 and out, interception. Dude, he went 3 and out, and friggin' interception. And so now the plays go, the Zappy chance start. Mac is getting booed. The guy took you to the effing playoffs last year. And the Fairweather Foxborough fans are all like, this isn't good enough for me.
Didn't they extend last year? The NFL extended that extra team in the playoffs, didn't it? Wasn't that last year?
Mm-hmm.
Would they have made the playoffs if they didn't extend that extra spot?
The Patriots, were they the 7 seed? No, because Buffalo had to go to Kansas City. So the Patriots were the 5th or the 6th seed.
Okay. All right.
Spoiler alert, didn't really matter because they got their asses handed to them.
No, I know. It's like they weren't a playoff team. They ended up backing into the playoffs as bad as they played down the end of the last season.
The stadium went from an empty house, if you will, to a house on Christmas morning. When Bailey Zappi came in, the electricity was palpable. Everyone's phone was blowing up, fireworks going off, people cheering. It felt like the Patriots had just won a playoff game or punched their ticket to the Super Bowl.
I know.
By the time we got to the start of the fourth quarter, it felt like I was in a house that had just been robbed.
Yeah, it was super odd. Like it was
awful.
It was like one of the weirdest emotion games. And like I said, I wasn't even happy that I won the bet. I wanted the Patriots to come back under Zappy.
Well, also, if the Patriots won by a touchdown, they were 8.5-point favorites.
It would have been perfect.
You would have been fine.
Perfect.
27-20 Patriots. Oh, that was closer than I thought. Patriots win. Zappy gets one more win. Now it's time to turn it over to Mac Jones. Let me just say this. Let me say this about what's going on in the NFL so far. I'm changing the graphic to.
Well, hold on. Can I mention a few things in the chat? I'm not sure if you're. So a couple of people here want to know why I'm on the left side of the screen this week versus the right, and it looks weird. So
I know. I'm not sure how that happened. I think Did you do something like we're linking up channels or something like that?
I got control. I wanted to take control of the mute button because that's someone else asked me. They want to know, did Dakota have control of the mute button this week? So I needed to get full control of this.
How'd that work out for you? Hashtag mute Dakota. Still in effect for your old pal Fitzy. Hey, look at me. Look at me. I'm the captain now, okay?
Hey, I have a question. Since mute is more for audio and we're on video, can we call it a vute? It's a vute button?
Oh my God. I love every single portmanteau possible. You know I love dad jokes. You know I love puns. That's right. It's a vute.
It's a vute, right? Hey, listen, I just made that up on the fly right here. Mark it down. October 27th at 12:27 p.m. in the afternoon. And here's another fun fact about me. I was the first one that I've known, and never heard it before, that used the word lost in textlation instead of translation when you text someone and they take the text the wrong way. And I go, no, I didn't mean that. You're reading it the wrong way. You get lost in textlation. I was the first one to come up with that. It's on the record, and I'm the first one, I think, to ever use the word vute. So a vute, by definition, now I'm switched over. Now it gave me a headache. The vute, by definition, is when you hide someone
Thank you,
from
Rad
the
Rob.
video screen.
Rad Rob, by the way, Rad Rob's such a fan of the show. In addition to all the nonsensical Pats chatting, he a little dude message. He DM'd me and he was like, "What do you use? You use it Streamer or whatever?" I was like, "No, I love this platform, Restream." And so now he's become a regular user. So now we've got tech support in the chat box from our viewers. This is
groundbreaking.
Human sacrifice, cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. Yeah, but back to Monday night, like you could have easily won your bet because it was an 8.5-point favorite, 27-20 Patriots, right? 24-20 even, doesn't matter. But the way that game played out was just so on brand for week 7 in the NFL, where Aaron Rodgers loses to an XFL quarterback in Washington or Virginia, wherever the frig that shithole stadium is, against the Commandos. Tom Brady is a 13-point favorite in a must-win get-right game for Tampa Bay against the Panthers. They go, Mike Evans drops that bomb on the third play of the game. Wow. It is an absolute disaster from that point. They get pushed around. Carolina almost has 200 yards rushing, and Carolina fired their coach, traded their best receiver, traded their best running back, interim coach, fourth string XFL quarterback. They win by 18 over Brady, who scores no touchdowns. Embarrassing defeat. Like this season sucks.
Hey, do you know what's picking up steam? My tweet from last week that the Pats are going to trade for Brady, send Mac down to Tampa, bring Brady here, have him over Zappy, let Zappy start.
Don't
be the backup.
Don't do that.
Brady's
to me.
coming back. It's
Don't
picking up
do
steam.
That to me.
I'm telling you. And if Mac Jones goes out and lays an egg,
don't fuck with me, Dakota.
In the Meadowlands.
Don't fuck with me, Sean.
How good would that be?
Don't fuck with
Come
me,
on
Sean.
Home. Let's go, Tom.
Me, Sean.
Let's go.
Don't.
Let's go. How good would that be? Tom Brady coming back to New England.
Aside from honestly being told that the local Packy now has put me on an endless credit line and I get free beer for life, or my children being told that we are all going to be granted life eternal, I don't think I would want any. Okay, I wouldn't mind a nacho waterfall in the backyard either.
But our lives needs to come full
Tom
circle.
Brady
Tom
coming
Brady
home
needs to come back here
for the farewell.
Comes home,
ignites the team. They go on a run. He goes up to Buffalo, shoves it up Josh Allen's ass.
Oh my God, that'd be.
He wins one more Super Bowl in Arizona, where he belongs.
Yep.
Let's go.
Yep. We have to make this happen. So the only way, Fitzy,
you have
the
a new
only
nickname.
Way, Fitzy,
Delusional Dakota.
I like that hashtag Delusional Dakota. People thought I was delusional when I said when Curt Schilling comes back from an injury, then they're going to need him to put him to the bullpen, and I got laughed all over Boston radio for making that call. And when Curt Schilling came back that year from the injury, what did they do? They moved him into the bullpen for the end of the regular season, and he came out of the bullpen in the playoffs as well. Anyways,
I'm kind of down with in the chat box watching live on Facebook now. MGC, yeah, you know me, Michelle Gingola Curtis. The Pats defense sucked so bad last week. Doesn't matter who's a quarterback, the team is going nowhere. Thank you.
Can we stay in this?
I'm not sure if the team's not going anywhere. I just want to point out that with the way that defense played, with how poorly prepared they were, with such a bad job they did coaching and being ready for a Bears team that had almost 2 weeks to get ready. The Patriots coaching staff got pantsed, out-prepared, out-coached.
Listen,
One
I
of the
don't
worst
think
jobs
so.
by Belichick ever.
I don't think. Well, hold on a second. First of all, I don't think so because going into the game, what did I say was the number one reason why the Patriots Justin Fields was gonna have a big game? That the Patriots linebackers didn't have enough speed for Justin Fields. I mentioned it here.
Yep.
Okay, and sometimes it's not all about coaching; it's about talent. They don't have the talent, speed at linebacker to handle a guy like Justin Fields or Josh Allen or any of those other mobile quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, can we get back to this Tom Brady thing? You have
Devin
to
Ashley thinks we need to check our carbon monoxide detector.
Well, funny thing is, I get home at my house last night. I hear one of that beep. You know those chirps? Beep.
Yep.
I'm like,
that means the 9 volt is low.
I'm like, where's it coming from? And the worst thing is when you go throughout your house and you have to wait like 5 minutes for that thing to chirp again, and all of a sudden you start moving to a different room and then you hear it again.
Is it in the kids' bedroom? Oh God, I hope not. Okay. Is it in the kitchen? Is it in the shed?
Finally,
with,
I found
the
it.
hot water heater?
Finally, it was in the basement. It was in the basement, and that's where the chirp was. And I couldn't find a 9-volt battery, so I went from in the basement carbon monoxide-less alerts.
Now we can't take it all out on Devin McCourty. Look, Devin McCourty definitely is not having a signature season right now, Jeffrey. The Patriots on the whole, I don't understand last week why, and the safeties we're going to need McCourty on Sunday as well at JetLife Stadium because safeties got banged up. Adrian Phillips got banged up last week. Kyle Duggar tweaked his ankle. So you're going to need the safeties big time against the Jets, who've got quick receivers. And even though they just lost Breece Hall for the season to an ACL, kid was having a dynamite rookie year. They traded for James Robinson.
Who's a stud.
Stud.
I think him like sixth round pick, 7th round pick or whatever.
No playing time left in Jacksonville. So now he's going to be like the fill-in. Like he's good.
So here's what I don't understand. The first part of the season, Travis Etienne did squat. James Robinson was getting all the carries, all the touchdowns. So I figured he's just lock in my fantasy lineup, my season-long fantasy. I didn't even think about James Robinson. I had to bench him. And here I am. Like, they didn't even play him. Like, Etienne got everything.
He got all the catches, all the touches.
So I didn't understand it. But anyways, getting back to the Tom Brady coming here. So if it's going to happen, I'm going to ask you this question. Does Mac Jones need to suck this Sunday, or does he need to go out and win this Sunday? So Tampa feels like, hey, we want this guy. We'll trade for him. Because if he sucks, does anybody want him?
Do you really think
that Tom Brady could come back here? Yes. There's a part of me.
Bill Belichick would get Brady back, send them Mac Jones, Brady then.
Well, you can't bring Tom Brady here.
And he's going to he's just going to come back. Well, he has no Giselle and no Tampa house to hold him back. He's going to come up here, mentor your boy Bailey Zappi.
Yep. And Tyquan Underwood. He's finally got a receiver who it looks like
Tyquan Thornton. Tyquan Underwood. He had issues with 10 years ago. Yeah.
Same guy. Tyquan T Shizzle. Anyways, I think the whole reason was Giselle. Giselle said, "I don't care what Bill
not a big fan of. She didn't like living in Brookline."
Exactly. Okay. And probably too many golf balls went off the 14th into their house, okay? Does it 14th come that way? No, actually, no. If you're on the 14th hole, you would have to duck hook a ball about 200 yards to the left, and I think you'd land in Tom Brady's house at Brookline Country Club.
Or what was his house? What did it sell for, by the way?
That I do not know. I know they
had it listed for like 35, which was just a little bit out of my price range.
So what if, hypothetical, that Giselle is the one that was the riff that caused Tom not to come back here. And Brady left and says, listen, I'm sorry. I got to do this. I'm not going to throw my wife under the bus because that would make her look bad, right? But now the divorce happens. Come out and says, hey, I never wanted to leave New England. I had a wife. I wasn't sure how long I was playing. And she said, we're getting a divorce if we're staying in New England. And I made the family decision to try to get down to southern Florida, whether it was Tampa or Miami, because I wanted to save my marriage. And now, since the marriage is over, Tom comes back. New England welcomes in open arms. Bill gives him a big hug. RKK gives him a big hug. And then Tom Brady leads this team to another Super Bowl. It could happen because
My
they
other
have the
son,
defense.
Tom, welcome home. It's so good to see you.
They have the defense, and they definitely, this would, like,
Who, the
offensive-
Patriots? Patriots don't have the defense. They just
they do.
Dude, they just almost gave up 40 points to Justin Fields. The Bears hadn't scored more than 14 all season.
No, because here's what's going to happen. They're going to make a trade for a linebacker. This is all going to go down. So they're going to make a trade at the deadline. They're going to get an inside linebacker with speed. I'm not sure who's out there. It's not my job. Okay. Talk to the unemployed Jack Easterby. Okay. Maybe he can tell you. But they could go out and get a linebacker with speed, shore up that defense, because I love the secondary. The defensive line, once Barmore's healthy, Anthony Jennings, Anthony Jennings?
Yeah.
The first round pick a couple
No,
of
he
years
was
ago.
a fourth round pick out of Alabama a couple years ago. He
Played
was playing
great.
because Uche, he played well. Josh Uche has been a bust. Like, I'll go out and say it, like, you've gotten absolutely nothing out of the kid last year. God, I've even forgotten his name. He's so far gone and irrelevant now. The Oklahoma, Ronnie Perkins, nothing from him.
Yeah.
Uche season has never transpired.
Well, either way, I think their defense is fine. Like, they need some help. And if they feel that this is the worst question.
Copium. It's an opium you take to deal. Copium.
Oh, they're making up. Are they making up words now that I made up?
I like doing this just because, like, it keeps me sharp. We're making fans. We're building a new audience every week. It's fun. We discuss our bets. I love thinking about finding out how much you stink. I don't know what stinks more, you or your takes. I think I'm just mostly here for the fact that people love to watch, so they could just see, like, what kind of crazy shit is Dakota going to say this week?
But most of the stuff is right, though. It's true. It's like, all my stuff comes to fruition. I am Dakota Damas when it comes down to it. Okay? It does happen.
Oh, you are.
It really does.
I love
it. Really does.
I absolutely love it.
You know, as someone famous might say, is geniuses sometimes walk alone. I'm sorry, you just can't figure it out.
And everybody knows your primary source is Ben Volen. He gives you all the good.
First of all,
intel.
I hate Ben Volen. Ben Volen. There isn't anybody else in the media that I despise more of Ben Volen, and this is well before this stupid DM that he got. And you know what? You know, if they're looking like for motive, like who did it, they would point the finger at me because I hate Ben Volen so much. But I don't have his number, so I couldn't DM him.
I got nothing against him personally, but now I love that anytime anybody has an improper source or gets burned with a bad take, you can just say, "Oh, I got a DM," or I got Voland. Exactly.
I know. Has he been on WEEI since that fiasco? Has he been back? Has Curtis had him on?
So. No.
Wow. You think he's exiled from EEI now?
I mean,
because it kind of made them look bad.
He might need to take a minute, like take a lap, like, you hit the bench, hit the showers,
cancel him,
hit the cooler. No,
hey, wouldn't that be funny if WEEI started canceling Ben Volen after Ben Volen is the biggest canceler out there? Because he wants to cancel everybody. So it'd be funny if the guy that wants to do all the canceling.
Yeah, I have too much to do, and I got better things to do than to get involved in the in the profession of trying to cancel other people. Yeah. By the way, as we head into talking about the Pats-Jets game and the Week 8 slate, I would just like to point out that it is a brutal slate. And also, did you know this? This was like that. You want to talk about fact of the year? Did you know
this is where you need graphics like that question mark just to pop up on the screen,
or like the star that goes across the screen?
Yeah. Did you know?
Did you know this week, Week 8 of the NFL, there is one flipping game, that has two winning teams. And as everyone would have predicted it, it's Giants at Seahawks.
Ooh,
that's the only game with two friggin' winning teams.
So should I lead into my segue now since you're mentioning that game? Because my play of the week is actually on the Giants-Seattle game. Or should we wait until the end?
We'll wait till the end. We'll wait till the end on that one.
Okay, the big tease.
Yeah.
The big tease.
Did you, by the way, did you see, did you see
The Watcher? I watched The Watcher last night on Netflix.
How was it?
Oh my God. So I'm a guy that thinks like Breaking Bad is probably the best.
It is the greatest show of all time.
The greatest show. And usually, even Breaking Bad, sometimes you need to get a few episodes into something to kind of like not sure if this is good. Like I've tried watching Pinky Blinders a couple of times and can't get beyond the first episodes. So I'm accustomed that
Pinky
the
Blinders,
first
I've heard that's a good show.
The first episode you have to kind of like get warmed up to it, get into episode 2, episode 3. Right from Jump Street, episode 1 got me. And I kept going, wow, this is fucking phenomenal. This is great. We started watching this. There's 7 episodes, okay, in this series, in the first season. We started watching this, I think, last night about 8:30. And I like to get into the bed around 11:30, watch, a few shows, maybe 12 o'clock, lights out, put the radio on, whatever. I was up till 2 a.m. We
binging out on
6 episodes.
The Watcher? You're shitting me.
On The Watcher. We couldn't handle it anymore, so we left the final episode of The Watcher for tonight. Maybe tonight, at some point. And I will tell you this. The other good thing that Netflix, I think, is understanding, usually when you watch all these series, every time when you're binging, the beginning of the next one shows a recap, and then they go into like this 30-second to a minute and a third preamble about who's
the
on
algorithm
the show.
Continues to try to learn and then predict what you like or want to watch next.
But watching The Watcher, there was never any recap in any of the episodes. It's almost like Netflix knew you were just going to binge watch this, and they didn't have to do any recaps or any credits or anything. They just went right from episode 1, said episode 2, and it started and picked right back up again. And maybe that's the new Netflix way.
Pat McSweeney watching on Facebook, Belichick is the Watcher. Good point. I haven't watched it yet. Me personally, I caught up on episode 8 of my current favorite show, Andor, the Star Wars prequel series. It is phenomenal.
What's that on?
Disney Plus, where all the Star Wars stuff is. The Plus, Disney Plus.
So, all right, that might be something this weekend then I could watch.
Oh, if you liked Rogue One, and Rogue One is my 3rd favorite Star Wars film. If you liked Rogue One, the whole setup to how they got the plans to blow up the Death Star and how the Rebel Alliance was formed.
Yep.
It's so effing good. And episode 8 last night was kind of almost like a horror movie. It was phenomenal. I don't want to spoil anything.
Who was the actress in Rogue One, the lead actress?
Oh, Tits McGee. Who was it?
Fucking hottie.
Fiona Shaw. Not Fiona Shaw. That's
smoking.
Yeah, she's very attractive. And it's It's Diego Luna is the actor. He's dynamite. Hey, we got our first fantasy question of the day. We never get those. Usually just get wagering questions.
Or food.
Great handle on YouTube. Beefsteak tips. Dynasty 10-team PPR. Someone's offering Stafford and Jerry Jeudy, and he's going to he's offering that, and he's going to get Debo and a 3rd-round rookie pick for 2023. Should I pull the trigger? Hell yes. I don't know where Jerry Jeudy is going to be playing. I think Stafford is worst. Debo was one of the 5 best receivers in football. And
I don't know. Isn't McCaffrey going to take away some of Debo's
but he'll be able to just primarily focus and concentrate on being a receiver. He's the best receiver on that team.
Yeah, I guess
one of the 5 best in the league. I'd do that now.
I guess on the surface.
Thank you.
I guess on the surface you can make the
is
deal.
an indoor. Shout out Jason Dodge, Felicity Jones. Thank you.
Wait a minute. So that's the girl who was in Rogue One, or that's the girl in Andor, or is she?
That's the girl in Rogue One.
Rogue One. Felicity Jones.
Andor is amazing.
Where's our intern today? And our intern should be throwing up like a Felicity Jones like picture from Rogue One.
I know. Well, the intern called in sick.
Who's your famous female ever in a movie? Because and this goes to like.
Can you? I'm gonna need you to requalify that one.
Okay, I'm gonna requalify. What female in any movie could you not take your eyes off? And every time the movie's on, you had to watch it because
it's easy. Easy. My first on-screen crush. This is
if you nail. Hold on, I'm gonna write this down.
Okay, it's not gonna be yours, and it's such hold on. Rad Rob is officially applying to be the intern. Rob, you're hired.
Right,
we'll talk after
we need
the show.
someone. Can an intern come on virtually? Like, can you have intern virtualization and they have behind the scenes?
I believe there is a producer mode where he can sort of hang out and linger behind the scenes. I'll send him some beers. You send him some Swing Juice merch, okay?
All right.
Okay, well, Landy LMG Tyler crushes forever on Scarlett Johansson. ScarJo is a fine choice. Rad Rob also, he said he'll just work for D'Angelo's.
Yeah.
Chicken Pocket or Steak Number 9 always will do just fine. Mine is. You ready? All right.
Well, I got to write it down. Hold on.
All right. You want to write down which one you think mine's going to be?
No, I'm going to write down mine in case you have the same one that I do. Okay, hold on. Sorry.
I mean, if this happens, this was not prearranged. Ooh, Jesse, that's a great guess. Heather Thomas in Zapped.
Heather Thomas in Zapped. It was
the Scott Baio movie from 1982. Listen, I was watching way too inappropriate a film, like ridiculous stuff at an early age. My dad took me to any movie, like Hot Dog the movie, Porky's. I saw them all when I was like way too young to be watching. I couldn't imagine taking my 9-year-old to see any of those movies now.
And again, just to qualify for you people in the chatters that are chatting in, what female on screen in a movie can you not take your eyes off, and that every time it's on?
I think James Farrencoop wins so far.
Mrs. Doubtfire?
I couldn't take my eyes off.
The late Robin Williams.
Hello, dear. You for Janaya Doubtfire here. Aren't we all just a bunch of pretties? You look so lovely.
So nobody's mentioned this in the chat. All right, who do you have?
Mine was the first woman I couldn't take my eyes off of.
Well, no, it can't be the first.
But it was like the first. It was still to this day.
That
it reminds me. It reminds me of so much. It was my first major crush.
It's not like Barbarella. Like was Jane Fonda? No, Adrienne Barbeau in Barbarella or something.
No,
because
Adrienne
that would be
Barbeau
like the
was in
first.
Escape from New York. Great guest,
she was
Jeff
good.
DeLuca. I mean, everyone loves Roller Girl from
Heather,
Boogie Nights. Tremendous.
I don't know. She wasn't revealing enough though. Like she was good. Heather Graham was good, but she didn't really reveal.
Did you miss the scene where she took all of her?
Did she really? Heather Graham did?
Roller Girl? Yeah. Are you kidding?
Oh, in
Boogie Nights.
Oh, Boogie Nights. I was thinking of Heather Graham in the Austin Powers movies.
No.
Because she was
although Liz Hurley might be Liz Hurley, who was in the original Austin Powers, has discovered a fastball, a Pedro Martinez fastball in her 50s that I can't even. It's like Brad Pitt. Like somehow he keeps getting handsomer the older he gets. Liz Hurley gets more beautiful.
I have a backup pick for you now that I hear you talk. I'm writing my second pick.
Here it comes.
Hold on. Wait, hold
on.
Okay, I got two. I have a backup.
My eyes off her initial all-time crush is from, I believe it was 1986.
Oh my God.
The movie Mannequin, Kim Cattrall.
It's not that. What?
Kim Cattrall. Kim Cattrall.
You need to pull up an image of her in that movie. I want to see what's so special about Kim Cattrall.
Oh my God!
Wasn't she on Moonlighting? Isn't that the girl on Moonlighting?
No, that was Sybil Shepherd.
Oh yeah, Sybil Shepherd. Kim Cattrall. I can't picture her.
Thank you, Linda Rodriguez. Good choice. Yeah, she was a smoke. She was gorgeous.
Kim Cattrall.
And like young me, who's just like.
What else did she play in?
Teetering into puberty was like.
So what you're saying is that you've kind of closed your eyes and thought of Kim Cattrall.
Right, it's not that kind of show. I mean, that's not what we're supposed. Oh
my God, I didn't even think of Phoebe Cates.
Les.
Oh yeah.
Les.
Oh my God. Yeah, that is a great one. That is a great one.
Steve Poole. All right, you win the prize.
Actually, okay. So here's mine. So I can't even believe nobody has mentioned this.
Oh, great call, Steve. Kim Cattrall, gorgeous. Yeah, she was. She was a beautiful woman. She was in Porky's, and she was also in Police Academy. Oh, she was the original love interest of Mahoney.
Mahoney's okay. So nobody's mentioned mine, but it's from a Bruce Willis movie. That should tip this off.
Is it Kim Basinger in Blind Date?
No, it's not.
Okay. Is it Bonnie Bedelia from Die Hard?
It's not.
Is it? Was it Danny Aiello from Hudson Hawk?
It's not. Fifth Element, Mila Jovovich.
Mila Jovovich? Really? The Resident Evil girl?
She's the one that doesn't speak any English. She's got the bandages wrapped around her, so she's half naked the whole time.
No one is denying the fact that she was absolutely gorgeous, probably still is to this day. And
thank you, Glenn.
She was.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Ooh, Stacy Bloomberg. This is a good one. Not that this is necessarily why we do this program, and I certainly don't want to be Massaggio, the great canceled former radio person. The first time I ever saw a naked upper lady parts, if you will, on screen, I was 8 years old, and we had one of those like illegal scramble boxes, so we stole the HBOs.
So you had the aluminum can, and you stuck the aluminum can.
No, it was like a black box that was like the size of like this sunglass case right here, and would sit on top of the
multi-pass.
Maybe it's small, like about yay big. My mom would always order it from somewhere, God knows where. We stole all the cable channels, and Trading Places was on. And I remember I saw.
Did she show her
Jamie Lee Curtis? Yes,
in Trading Places. It's a great movie. One of my.
And I remember just
movies.
being like, "That's what those." And then like she's naked, she shuts the door, and then I think my mom was like, "All right, we don't need to leave this."
Yeah. Anyways, my backup pick. I know I scrambled it there. It was Kelly LeBrock in Weird Science.
Oh my gosh, that movie's,
right?
chips, dips, chains, whips, like classic. That movie is so.
Check.
A missile in my house, Gary. I mean, anything more than a handful, you're risking a sprained tongue. I can hey, tell you what, I'll take the whole bottle. Tell you what, how about you bend over and I'll shove it straight up your ass. I can do. He won't stand for baloney. He won't, How about a nice greasy pork sandwich served in a dirty ashtray? R.I.P. Bill Paxton, one of the all-time.
Oh my God, Bill Paxton's phenomenal.
Yeah, he was. Wow, that was an unexpected, pleasant, and ridiculous diatribe.
I have no idea how we veered off into that.
I don't either, but I enjoyed it very much. I even forgot about how much
this.
Searing pain my left hand is in, since I've definitely broken my finger.
Usually we veer off into food. And by the way. Yes. Show update. We've mentioned Davio's many of times on this show.
Yes, we have.
Steve DiFilippo, the owner of Davio's, is going to be joining us for Dick Picks next Thursday.
I'm probably his career highlight.
Yep. No, definitely. I can't wait to see how he works his laptop and gets his audio and video down. He just doesn't strike me as a guy that can all of a sudden just have things working. I'm expecting technical issues next week with Steve because he's all about food.
It'll probably happen, but at the same time, we'll be lucky to have. We'll have to have him come up with a signature cocktail to help us get through as something celebratory if the Patriots win and they get back to 4-4, or something obviously.
The Zappatini.
No, but what about a Mac? What if Mac wins? What if Mac Jones plays I expect him to play Sunday? What if Mac Jones plays really well, balls out, gets the win, Pat's defense shows up, Belichick puts some respect and some luster back on that family name after that piss-poor showing against the Bears, and they stymie Zach Wilson, who's going to factor into my prop shop bets in just a little bit. James Robinson doesn't get going, and the Patriots squeak out a win. How the hell the Patriots are favored Sunday, I have no idea.
It's up to 2.5. It's up to 2.5.
They have no business being a 2.5 point favorite in this game.
So odd. If it gets to 3, I'm going to bet the Jets. Oh, I might just bet it anyways. And
you told me the other day when we were talking about the show, you're like, I might bet the Jets. So I wrote that down immediately and made a graphic.
Yeah, it's not my POD, but I might end up playing it.
Agree with you, Jason Dodge. Pat's D needs to show up. That run D Monday was trash. Almost 250 rushing yards for the friggin' Bears in that game, Dakota. Justin Fields, 74 yards in the first half. Most ever give up in a half to a quarterback in the Bill Belichick era. Fast, mobile quarterbacks in those RPO-heavy mismatch or smash and bash, whatever they call those offensive concepts, against Belichick defenses because of his love of big linemen and bigger linebackers, they always have their way with him, and I don't understand why. That's why I don't have it in my prop shop, but whatever the prop ends up being for Zach Wilson rushing yards on Sunday, bet. I guarantee you.
Well, you missed it last weekend.
Mike LaFleur is going to call. I guarantee you it's Matt LaFleur's brother, Mike, I believe, who's the offensive coordinator for the Jets. I guarantee you they call a lot of dedicated run plays for Zach Wilson.
The Bears? Who's the Bears playing this weekend? Because Robert Quinn's being traded, and
he was traded to the Eagles.
I know, like a team, they're getting better, and the offense finally came a light last week with the Bears. So maybe Justin Fields Chicago can start putting up some points. So maybe you're gonna have to start going with the over.
The Bears
in those games.
Dallas, and they are a 9.5 point dog.
You know what? And Dak's second game back, they didn't put up a lot of points last week. I might have to add the Cowboys-Bears game over. That's what I might need to do.
Okay.
Which will be interesting. You know, the Dallas Cowboys have and with Micah Parsons have speed at linebacker, etc. Even though he kind of plays more of a fourth down lineman. It's going to be interesting with a team defense like Dallas that is fast if they can shut down Justin Fields. I may have to play that over. May have to play it. Maybe I'll add it into like one of your teases or something. We can throw it into one of your props.
Well, here we go. Right now, I'll take you to the Week 8 prop shop before we give you our picks in the Pats game and more. Here we go. All right, these are my Underdog Fantasy prop shop picks of the week. I got the over on DJ Moore, 58.5 receiving yards. Number one, Carolina rediscovered that they have a number one receiver last week. He had a huge week against Tampa. Now they're going against Atlanta, whose number one corner, one of the best in the league, AJ Terrell, is out. PJ Walker will look at him.
You've actually put time and effort into the reasoning.
I want to win money. Money is good. I like money.
I guess maybe we can get have our station go from 5,000 watts of our stream up to 10,000 watts.
You never know. Maybe we'll crack triple digits next week on live viewers. Give me the over tonight. Mike Evans, 5 catches. Both starting corners for the Ravens are trashed. They both might not play. It's Marcus Peters and I forget the guy's other name. I'll come to me in a second. But Brady threw to him 15 times last week in Carolina. You know Brady's going to be full of great vengeance and furious anger tonight. He'll throw 20 times to him tonight over 5 catches.
What's that total tonight?
The over in right now the line in Ravens
like 40,
at Tampa,
47 maybe 46.
It's 46. The Ravens are 2-point favorites, and check this shiz out. I really did my homework this week. 80% of the money right now, 80% of the action is on the Ravens, which means go against the public.
Tampa has to win. Like this is like a do or die for them. I actually like Brady.
He was so embarrassed last week. So do I.
I know.
Big time.
Maybe Brady, like Baltimore does give up the deep pass. I mean, you saw what Tua did again. Like, so I can actually see Tom Brady having like so far this season, his best game to date tonight. I'll root for Tom tonight. I want Tom back here. I'll root for him tonight. So
good point by Jordan Watson, looking back to the Week 7 disaster in Foxborough. To give the defense credit, the ball bounced in the Bears' way a lot. The Bears did fumble the ball 4 times, and the Bears did recover all 4 fumbles. And, of course, we hit the wire on the Mac Jones throw that turned out to be a pick.
It didn't hit the wire. The NFL –
No, ESPN covered their ass and said it didn't hit the wire. You can look at the friggin' video. The ball is traveling, and then it nicks the wire and starts going down.
Oh, my God. So, is that the conspiracy of the week?
That's
right. I had my conspiracy. So your conspiracy of the week is the ball 100%. Hit the –
There's a Matt here. Okay. All right. You want it? Fine. Fuck it. Here, I'll show you.
Yeah. Do you know why it didn't hit? It didn't. It didn't. You know why? The rotation. Look at the laces of the football. The rotation of the laces of the football never changed. It never changed. If it was to hit the wire, there would have been a rotation changed with that football. You can look at the laces. Just eye the laces, and it will tell you it did not hit it.
Hard disagree. I'm here for all the conspiracies. Fine, whatever. Okay. All right, Bill Nye, the science guy.
I love Bill Nye, the science guy. That and How It's Made.
Exactly.
Right? That show How It's Made, right? They have like these 3 different things.
All right, so the other ones I love this week, Derrick Henry over 101.5 rushing yards. Last 3 games, he's gone up against the Texans. He's had over 200 yards rushing a game, so that's pretty good. I like the under on Zach Wilson, 200.5 passing yards. I do think he'll get a couple of runs in. I don't think he throws for over 200 yards against the Patriots Sunday. I think Belichick will find a way not to make him throw 4 picks like he did last year at JetLife Stadium. I also like Brett Maher, kicker for your Dallas Cowboys. Give me the over on 1.5 field goals. They'll move the ball enough against the Bears. Bears will tighten up in the red zone, but they'll definitely be able to do that. So there are my favorite propositional bets for Week 8 in the NFL. Write them down. You can tweet at me. I'll send them right back at you. You're welcome in advance. Dakota, your lock of the week, please.
All right, here we go. So I had mentioned earlier that it was on the Seattle Giants game. And in the chat, before I give out who my POD is, chatters, what do you guys think? I want to hear. What do you think is the side that I'm picking with? I'm just curious. Because I like to see what people try to get into the mind of Dakota. Because when it would hit the wire, it did not hit the wire. Hit the wire, but don't think it changed the trajectory. Okay, that may have happened. It may have hit the wire, but it definitely didn't change the trajectory because you could look at the ball, the football. The football, the laces never changed rotation, never slowed down, same speed, etc.
Agree to disagree.
It didn't. That's fine.
Let's see if anybody has a prediction for your best bet of the week.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Right.
I made everybody tons of money last week. Nobody cares.
I know. Look at the lack of gratitude. They boo Mac Jones, they call for Zappy, and they don't thank you for making the millions. Well, you know what? You'll thank Dakota after you cash in on this one. And I got to tell you, could be dangerous. I agree with you on this.
It's a dangerous one. I'm going with the Giants, the G-Men. Going into Seattle. Well, this guy said Seattle because they're home. No, it's not. I'm Jason, Mr. Jason Dodge. I'm going with the G-Men plus the 3. And if you can get 3.5, even better. That's my lock of the week.
The
and
Giants
it's really the only one.
They're so well coached. Brian Daboll, Coach of the Year, right now. Give him the award. Put his damn name on it. I can't believe that they win at home and on the road with no passing attack. Daniel Jones running all over the place with no wide receivers. And here's the thing. Seattle, Geno Smith, story of the year. Everyone wrote me off, but I ain't wrote back. Okay, cool. Here's the problem. This week, Giants, sneaky good pass defense, and DK Metcalf is not playing because he hurt the patella tendon last week. He got carted off in the first quarter. So you're not going to have the best receiving threat for Geno Smith, and you're going to have a pretty decent defense for the Giants, and I don't think they're going to have an answer for Saquon. I think the Giants run their record to a shot. I'm going to bet the Giants money line, not even just the spread. I'm betting the Giants money line.
So you actually like – that's bad news because nobody liked my Bears pick last week. So you actually – I might have to get out the fishing pole, and you know how I hate fishing, like reel that one back in, okay?
Uh-oh. Glenn Smith disagrees. Papa Gino, they're calling him now.
Papa Gino. He's only 31, 32.
Pete, oh, man. Glenn Smith says Giants are due to have a crappy game. Glenn, they've been due to have a shitty game.
They've been due to have a shitty season.
I know. Their win total was like 6.5, or like wasn't their win total 6.5? And you and I were both
7.5. Damn, do I stink? I'm not a guy that usually has body odor, but today I stink.
Is that a good or a bad sign?
I'm just like sitting here in my stink. Okay, it's bad. That's so odd.
Not a good sign.
What do you guys do if you're just sitting and you can just smell your own body? Like it never happens. I'm a shower guy. Like,
all right, I'll let him just figure out what he needs to do about his shower and clean up in Isle Dakota later on. You take a shower. That's what you do. You take care of yourself, you filthy animal. You wash up and you get prepared for a gambling, uncensored live stream that talks about the New England Patriots, martinis, and Kim Cattrall. That's what you do. I also just gave everyone the joy of a quick mute, Dakota. Don't be bragging about making all that money on the Bears last week, you son of a...
Hey, stop viewing me, okay? Stop viewing me. And just for you people checking in right now, I've come up with a new word. It's called the vute. Instead of mute, it's a vute because we're on video. And he's basically removing me from the video.
All right.
So I'm getting muted.
Last week, the Fitzy's idiotic 3-team teaser.
Yeah. Dallas. Cha-ching. Cincinnati. Cha-ching. And the under in the pit Miami, which was 16-10 cakewalk.
I can't believe poor America had to suffer through that shithole game. They didn't score a point in the entire second half. In Pittsburgh, we could have used you beating the Dolphins last Sunday night. They dropped 4 interceptions.
I know.
Tua ain't right.
You know, Pittsburgh might. I'm going to say this. Might.
You needed that for your 7.5.
Pittsburgh might be the upset of the week. They're getting like 10.5 going into Philly.
Yep.
In-state rivalry game, and you know how you like those rivalry games, right? Philly could be letting down. It's not an NFC game. Philly on a high.
They're coming off a bye, though.
That's even more. That means that that could hurt them. Pittsburgh gets out to a lead, holds on. Pickett has his best day ever. I don't know.
One of the top 5 secondaries that just improved their pass rush with Robert Quinn.
Yeah, that stuff doesn't mean a lot in one game. Anything can happen in one game. I don't know. I kind of like, if you were to say one big upset this week, I think Pittsburgh could go into Philly and beat them outright.
All right. Here's my idiotic 3-team teaser this week. I'll take the Jets getting 2.5 because I really don't think that the Patriots should be favored. That's 8.5. Patriots, if they win this game, they ain't not winning by more than a touchdown.
Love it.
And I do think they'll win, but they ain't winning by more than a tutty.
I'm
Give me
putting that
Tennessee
one as a W right now.
Tennessee giving 2.5 in Houston. That means they could lose by a field goal, get you 3.5. And I also have the Giants getting 3, which runs them up to 9.
Hold on a second. What was the Tennessee? What's the tease going to be?
It is the Jets.
No, I got that. The Tennessee-Houston game.
Yeah.
So you're taking Tennessee in what's the current line right now?
What's that? The line right now is Tennessee giving 2.5, so that runs them to a 3.5-point dog.
Ooh. No. Yep, I don't like it.
What do you mean you don't like it?
Houston's sneaky good. Houston's one of those teams.
Yeah, they're competitive.
They are, and they're probably due. This is, I think, it's a bad game for Tennessee.
I told you earlier, Derrick Henry steamrolls the Texans every time.
You're better off getting off that game and taking Pittsburgh, getting more points with that 10.5 up to whatever, 18.5, 19.5.
You want to run Pittsburgh getting 16.5.
Yes, I would rather do that than take Tennessee just flipping over the line of 0 to the other side. And I think most of the prognosticators tell you never take a tease when you have to cross over. Because you are losing 3 points. Usually games not going to land on a tie, and they're not going to land on one either way. So
but a field goal, if a field goal, that's where you want it. You got the hook at 2.5.
It's short-sighted, Fitzy. I'm telling you, as a longtime degenerate, it's short-sighted. Don't do it. Okay,
I'm going against the grain. You said last week you win because you go against the grain.
It's not against the grain. It's stupidity. It's stupidity. It's a stupid tease.
I was told never cross the streams, but I had no idea to never cross
right?
0.
Look at Jeffrey Ham says the same thing. You never cross 0 in a tease. There's no value there. You're much value getting Pittsburgh plus the points, or pick another game. Pick another game.
I refuse. I'm going against the. I will do a lap of shame next week.
Yeah.
I will own it. I will sit in it. I will sit in the stink of that idiocy, just like you're sitting in your own stink right now while we live.
And also, how come that tease you're not getting 9 points? When I was growing up being a degenerate, 3-team teases, I got 9 points.
I just bet the 6. I'm not looking for.
So,
yeah, I know you can get 9. Yes.
Okay, so you bet the 6 to improve your odds, then. So
Correct.
You get better odds. I see what you're saying. Okay.
That's where I like to hang. I like to get a little better value.
Yeah, no,
like
the value is actually getting the 9, I think. The value is better off getting the 9 than
last week. Last week it paid off at 2.5 to 1. So it was plus 240 something almost.
Yeah, so if a 9-point teaser is pretty much just even money, right? Then yeah, so I guess if you're getting 2.5 to 1 versus even money and you're okay with you getting the 6, that's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, you're not going to win this tease. This tease has no shot. No. Has no shot.
I just like to remind everyone that Dakota is a fraud because he has never tried chowder and he's from New England. So I just want to remind everybody that. And once again, Dakota's lock of the week: Giants getting 3 up in. Are you taking the Giants on the line, or are you going to bet money line Giants? Or
no, it's just the plus. Plus 3. Maybe try an alternate line of plus 3.5 because I do. They say never go up to get the win. Only buy the point. Right. Or half a point to get the tie. But I could see potentially the Giants like losing by a field goal, like some bad luck or whatever.
And you don't want to bust. If you could get that extra half.
Yeah, if I can get an extra half to win the bet. Or maybe I'll just go up to plus 4. Like an alternate line. So I think at plus 4, I'd probably have to lay like 126, 127. So that might be it. Either way, I like the Giants as my POW.
All right, my pick for the Patriots and the Jetropolitans this week, 1:00 game. Pats favored by 2.5. Your New England
Love the Jets.
Your New England Patriots 20, the Jetropolitans 16.
What?
I got Pats 20, Jets 16. How do you like that? How do you like them apples? How do you like them big apples, huh?
Well, there is one thing, and Mac Jones as a starter, there's that stat that if the Patriots, Mac Jones hasn't won a game where the Patriots defense has given up like more than 17.
Yeah.
Is it 24?
Yep. All right. There we go. We're getting the predictions now in the chat box. Mark Tossi watching on the old Facebook. Pats 25, Jets 20. I'll take it. That'll still win me my bet with the Jets in the 3-team idiotic teaser of the week.
What are the odds on Mac Jones throwing a pick six? That's what I want to bet. I want to bet, since he's due for an interception, this guy is like, he's Sam Donaldson his rookie year. He just kept throwing pick sixes. He's Jameis Winston. He is the new version of Jameis Winston. That's what he is.
Mac Jones is the new Jameis Winston.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Hold on. You know what? I'm going to use my broken
It's a
hand.
turnover machine. How am I wrong? Like, you're like, you know what? You might be right because of all the turnovers. They should name an Apple turnover him at Bova's in the North End. Come in and get the new Mac Jones Apple turnover. That's what they should get. Bova's. Go ahead, do it.
You imagine going to Mike's Pastry or something and like, oh, here's an Apple turnover. What's that? Oh, because Mac Jones is going to throw a pick six against the Jets. Yeah. It's the Big Apple turnover.
Yeah, the Big Apple turnover. I like that.
Worst.
Somebody from Bova's here or Mike's Pastry or whoever.
Yeah,
maybe Steve DiFilippo at Davio's can add it to his dessert menu.
There you go. There you go. Why don't you? Yep. There you go. Next week, if Steve DiFilippo from Davio's joins us, you can ask him if he'll name a dessert after Mac
If
Jones.
we get a pick six, we get a pick six from Mac, or something that like goes down to like the 1 yard line, because I don't want to see like the defender like running the entire way.
If like Sauce Gardner picks him off.
Like in Tyquan Thornton runs them down at the 1 and they still go in. It's still like a pick six. And Chris, you are right. Winston as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. That's what I meant. So not as a Saint. He hasn't been a turnover machine. So Chris is right. I should have classified the Jameis Winston. And no, not in the back of a cab either.
Yeah, and not with crab legs.
Was it an Uber or a cab that he knocked?
It was an Uber.
Out? It was an
Uber where he was inappropriate. Yeah. So you still wish they were starting Zappy. They are starting Mac. What do you have Sunday at Jet Life?
I have the Jets was just winning. The Jets going to win the game. And it's going to be ugly for Mac, and the quarterback controversy continues. And Monday before the trade deadline, there's going to be more Tom Brady coming to New England trade talks. That's what's going to happen.
You are a sad.
And you know what? And you know what Bill's going to do?
What?
Even if Mac turns the ball over 2, 3, 4, 5 times, he's going to leave Mac in there the entire effing game to say, see all you fucking guys? Mac sucks. Okay, you wanted him to a full game. You said, I pulled him too early last week. Now I'm going to leave him into a full game, and the Jets will put up 40 points.
Here's a great point by Jordan Watson. This is playing off the Russell Wilson super hardo of the week. Mac Jones isn't a top quarterback because he doesn't do high knees to away games on transatlantic flights. Jordan, your wish is granted. This was Russell Wilson just the other day on his hardo prep for the game in England against Jacksonville.
I don't really get jet lag too often. I don't really, I've traveled enough to get, kind of get my system down. But for me, I was on the plane first 2 hours. I was, probably 8 hours flight here. That's the first 2 hours I was watching the film, watching all the cut-ups and everything else. And then for the next 4 hours, I was doing treatment on the plane. I was walking up and down the aisles. Everybody was knocked out. I was doing high knees and working on my legs and everything else, making sure I'm ready to rock. So that was good. And then the last 2 hours the last hour of that, I fell asleep for 1 hour, and I watched the film the rest. So I felt good to go once we got back. And then we had.
What an absolute fraud. This guy is the worst. Honestly,
hey,
he's the most unrelatable human being. I'm with Kyle Brandt. He's truly the most unrelatable human in the world. How about just like, I was on the airplane doing like most people do. I was eating and having a drink, or I was trying to sleep, or I played cards. This guy, he's not even a real human being.
Who's falling hotter? Who's falling hotter? Russell Wilson or Yeezy or Ye?
Oh, wow. Man, the two of them would probably make straight. There's a reality show that I'd be up for.
Right? Russell Wilson and Yee. Hey, what was this guy? He says here in the chat, can we act like football adults and start placing the blame on our offensive struggles where it actually belongs on our defensive coordinator turned OC Patricia? Can I say something to Chris Chipper?
Chipari.
Mr. Chipper? Chipper,
Chipari.
let me tell you something.
Don't you eat it at a restaurant in the North End called Chipari's?
This is for you, Chris Chipper, okay? Go look at the stats when Zappe started of what the Patriots offense did, and it's one of the top offensive units on a per-play basis, yards downfield, and points. So you can't sit there and tell me that the offensive coordinator is the problem. When Zappe was starting, the Patriots offense did twice as much that Mac Jones did in his games. And if you compare it against the rest of the league, the Zappe offense is one of the top offenses in the NFL. That's not my opinion. Those are stats. So go do your homework, Chris Chipper, and go look at the offensive stats why Zappe was the quarterback. Stop putting blame on the offensive coordinator because he was a defensive coordinator before and a head coach that sucked in Detroit. That's a bad effing little chat that you just sent in, and I'm calling you out because you know nothing. You know nothing. You know nothing. That's what I got to say.
Yeah, and they call different plays for Bailey Zappi and Mac Jones, and
because Bailey Zappi can.
Week.
Because Bailey Zappi
he's a fourth-round rookie who is a nice little story, but he got exposed Monday night. He was exposed Monday night against the Bears.
Exposed? He wasn't exposed. He had some bad tip balls.
He set up two quarterbacks to fail Monday night.
Where's my mute button? I need my mute button. Where is my mute?
All right, I'll mute him for a second. That's for you, Chipari. Dakota saying, yeah, okay, the offense was effective and productive because he caught teams off guard and they played shitty teams like Detroit and Cleveland, and it was awesome, and they were efficient. And I wish they went back to that power running play action based offense with Mac Jones, but instead they were calling different plays, and they had Mac in the shotgun more, and it was an absolute freaking mess. And they need to all get on the same damn page and call the same damn offense. Besides, Patricia's a rocket scientist, for fuck's sake.
Yes. Hey, I have if Restream, anybody from Restream watching this right now, I have a money opportunity for you guys to monetize this stream. You should make me pay for a premium service that doesn't allow the host to view me. So, when you go try to...
You've got a... We'll call it a veto. It's a veto of the view.
There you go. This way, if I'll pay for the feature that won't allow the host, which is you, to view me, so I can veto it.
Meanwhile, Chris Chipari, he's so mad that you just came at him in the chat box. He's at home like,
here. I'm here.
It's funny.
He's ready for that smoke. All right, this has been the latest and greatest edition of Dick Picks with Fitzy and Dakota. You can follow my guy, Steve Dakota Happis, on all the socials. He's the Dakota Cash Bomb at Dakota Happis. His best bet of the week is Giants getting 3. Your old pal Nick Fitzy Stevens at FitzyGFY. I'll be on the radio Saturday, WEEI 4 to 6. Sunday, the postgame show, the Six Rings postgame show, 4 to 7:30 on WEEI as well. And I will leave you with this. We have a moment of Zen for you, all of you Boston sports faithfuls and you diehards out there. Did you know that 18 years ago to this very night, a certain curse was reversed?
No stolen base. Red Sox fans have longed to hear it. The Boston Red Sox are world champions.
That was
one
awesome.
of the all-time "Where were you" moments.
I'm getting chills.
I just did too. I've watched it 1,000 times already today, and I still get chills. Where were you, kid?
Where was I?
Yeah.
I was in my living room just watching this thing unfold. I like being at home for big games, and that's it. I was in the same place that Malcolm Butler picked the guy off.
Picked Russell Wilson off in Arizona. Yeah. I was living in New York at the time. I drove my ass all the way back to Braintree that afternoon so I could watch with my mom and my dad and my brother. I wanted to be in the same house on the same shitty TV that smelled like the same stale cigarette smoke and be with them for that moment. It was awesome. And to think, people lived whole lifetimes,
I know.
families, generations, friends, uncles, fathers, grandparents, mothers, aunts, all of them, and never saw a World Series. Fellowship of the Miserable, the diehards. The Red Sox killed my father, and now they're coming for me. And we have seen 4 this century. Lucky effing us.
I can remember the two crying moments as a young kid. One when the Bucky Dent game. And I was sitting on a little step stool in our living room, ran home from school because that game was played, I think it started at 1 or 2 in the afternoon. So I remember running home from school, no buses, and watching that game and then crying like a little baby because the Red Sox lost in '78. And then in '86, I was at a friend's house in Quincy. And we were all sitting around the living room, and I couldn't believe we were going to win the World Series. And when it didn't happen, I remember walking home from this place, and it was a long walk and just like shaking my head and crying. But, we still had hope. We still thought that the next game, at least in '86, there was still another game after the Buckner. I'm talking about the Buckner game, Game 6, because then in Game 7, I think we got up 2-0. Then we got up 4-2. I think we had 2 2-run leads in the Game 7 game against the Mets, and I think we failed. But
I think I've told you this before, that I was so sad, I was so upset after the Red Sox lost in 1986 to the Mets that
you became a Wally Backman fan?
my mom actually allowed me to miss a day of school. Game 7 was supposed to be Sunday. It was played Monday night, so I skipped that Tuesday of school. She sent me in with an Epstein's mom excuse note that said, please excuse Nick for missing school.
So it was your
Tuesday.
generation. So it was your generation.
I took
you were the one.
Bereavement day. He was too sad to go to school.
Yeah, and your mom was probably the same one that sent in the letter that said everybody in class should get a trophy. Because my son,
how dare you?
Well, wait a minute. If your mom is giving excuses because you're too emotionally hurt to go into school because you couldn't deal with a loss, then I could see her, you coming home crying from that junior farm game where you had 3 errors and struck out 4 times and the other team got a trophy. Mom, I want a trophy.
Yep, and I'm the reason why everyone is so SAWFT soft, and this is Generation Participation Trophy. I agree with you so much. That's the end of the show for Dakota, and that's the end of the show for all of us. Thanks for watching, you guys. Always a pleasure to hang with you. Tell your friends every Thursday at 12 o'clock. Next Thursday, we will definitely be on time, and I promise not to slam my fingers in a door. All right, Dakota, say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone. Vuto.
The Vuto. It will be
the word of the week. The new word of the week.